पॉलिसी बाजार पर 1 करोड़ रुपए का टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस केवल 450 रुपए महीने से शुरू। Wow.
Let's go across to Alok Pandey, who's monitoring the story. So, Alok, is it finally going to be a Merry Christmas for Siddique Kappan and his family? What does this mean? Is he actually physically going to be allowed to leave prison? Because we've seen in the past, you get bail granted, but some other cases filed against him, and he's just continued to be in jail behind bars for 2 years now.
Well, Sarah, I think he's not going to immediately walk out of jail. That seems to be for sure, because I spoke to his lawyer, Mr. Dhanij, and he said that the courts are going in for a vacation, and that's why he will be filing a release petition or an application for release before the concerned PMLA court in Lucknow on the 2nd of January, which is the first working day after vacations. The other issue will be for Mr. Kappan to also meet the bail conditions that are set by the PMLA court. In the last terror case, the Lucknow court had set a condition of 2 local sureties from Lucknow in order to enable him to get bail and walk out of jail, or at least get the bail in that case. And it took his team a lot of effort to actually arrange for this, those sureties. And at the moment, we are not sure if the police have actually managed to vet and clear those sureties right now. So I think there are more legal impediments before Mr. Kappan actually walks out of prison. But nevertheless, it's an important day today, because just to, give out the background of this case for our viewers, there were 2 cases that were filed against Mr. Kappan. One, of course, right after he was arrested in October 2020 by the UP police. That was a terror case where the UP police claimed that he was going to Hathras on the directions of the now banned Popular Front of India to spread discord, etc. Kappan and his lawyers have kept on saying that we are journalists, I am a journalist, and I was going there only to report. And then later in 2021, a second case was filed by the Enforcement Directorate related to money laundering. It was in an effect tied to the first case, because again, the ED alleged that they were getting funds to actually, spread discord, etc. And that's why Mr. Kappan was going to Hathras. So the police have filed a charge sheet, and the ED has also filed a charge sheet in both cases. Whereas now Mr. Kappan has got bail from both the Supreme Court in the terror case and also from the Allahabad High Court in this money laundering case. Also, just one last point, if you remember, when Mr. Kappan got that bail in the terror case from the Supreme Court had made some very strong observations about the kind of evidence that was presented by the prosecution, which is the UP government or the police, to actually ask for bail to be denied. And they said a lot of things about that. But of course, what happens next will be a legal fight for Mr. Kappan. Will be interesting to see how soon he manages to walk out. His lawyer says it may only happen in the new year.
Only happen in the new year. So a lot of logistics, and probably so close yet so far really to get out for Kappan. Now look, just one last bit. So obviously you talked about bail conditions. Will he be able to go home to Kerala from what you know of following this case, or will he have to be out on bail somewhere in UP?
See, because there are 2 cases, and there may be either 2 adjunct conditions that the Supreme Court and the High Court put on him, or they may be different. So in the Supreme Court case, if I remember correctly, the Supreme Court had laid down some condition, if I remember, that he had to be in Delhi for a while before he could travel elsewhere. Now, we haven't yet read the Allahabad High Court's detailed order, because it's not been uploaded on the website, so we're waiting for that. As soon as we know more about what order has been passed, we'll get to know what kind of conditions have been imposed in this case. But in the interim, he may only be able to travel to the national capital perhaps, and then later to Kerala, depending on what the courts have ordered and how the legal process goes through.